there was somebody who wrote a Medium article called Hustle Porn and put me as the
I didn't even know if they did that. That happened.
And so what happened was there was a moment there that it got a lot of heat and I started to, but it was easy for me. Two things happened with that. One, the most remarkable thing was I talked about it once on a podcast, and because there were so many things that weren't true about me in the article, and I said that I felt bad for the person that wrote it, not for me. And then that person reached out to me recently, and I sent it to Sid and Andy because it was a big moment on our team, Gary, at the time, and he apologized and said I was right on the podcast.
I didn't even know that happened.
That he used me. And then, so for me, that's what actually sparked people throwing me into that combo, because if you read Crush It, I don't talk about working 18 hours a day. I talk about having the capacity to work 18 hours a day when it's your hobby. When you love it, do you understand that I would not work 1 hour a day if I didn't like it? I got D's and F's for a reason. I did not like school, and I believe that I'm part of a very rare club. As a matter of fact, Gary at vfriends.com, if you're part of this club, because I know there's not that many people, so I don't think my inbox will get flooded. Don't email me otherwise. Please, I got too much email. But if you're one of these people, email me. Are you part of the, I never opened my book, I never did a single piece of homework, and I never studied for an hour or more in your entire 4 years of high school? Please email me, because you and I are part of a, I am an all-time remarkably poor student. From freshman year to high school at North Hunterdon High School in New Jersey, I did not do one piece of homework in 4 years of high school. I never submitted a book report. I did my Scantron as A, B, C, D, E, like complete random. And I never studied once, not an hour in 4 years of high school. My capacity to work hard when I don't like it is zero. My job, my career is my hobby. I treat working the way people treat skiing and vacationing and cooking and watching Star Wars and playing video games. It is my great hobby. So when people tried to throw the hustle thing at me, I was like, the receipts exist. Go watch my content. I don't work 18 hours a day to make $1 million for what?
So the real message is that if you can turn your work into something you absolutely love that becomes your hobby, then it doesn't feel like work. So you're not really you're hustling, but you're not really anyway because it feels
when
fun.
People like, Gary, work late. I just said this on another podcast. First time I ever said this way, I'm late. They're like, yeah, but Gary, I work 9 to 5. I have great work-life balance. I'm like, do you like your job? Nah. I'm like, you don't have good work-life balance. You have 40 hours a week that you are fucking miserable.
I also disagree. You do have to hustle. Like, what do people not disagree with you, but disagree that people are mad about that?
We are fully agreeing. That becomes, let me tell you what that's about. That's similar to why cancel culture is getting canceled. That was the manipulation of a word. When the word hustle meant hard work, we all agreed on it. What happened was society manipulated the word hustle into work so hard in such an unhealthy manner that you will get sick or suicidal, all for the chase of money.
Yes.
My definition of hustle is hard work is one of the ingredients to make something happen. That'd be like saying to everyone, good news, you don't need to go to the gym or eat right, and everything is gonna be awesome. Physically, not true.
Sure.
So that was just the slang word of hustle. This is the biggest issue with cancel culture. It doesn't factor in intent.
Yep.
If somebody makes a misstep, but they didn't want to, and they like you, and they didn't mean it, why should they be fired and eliminated from society? It was so out of whack, which is why it didn't last long. There's a reason we're having a correction and why it was just a blip. It's not sustainable. It's not right.
Yeah, it's why, like, honestly, we never, and I think it comes with having, like, a lot of people in that moment were maybe new or just getting started finding their foot. We've been doing this for so long now, not as long as you, but that it felt like a blip in time.
100%.
And I kept looking like, there's no way you can sustain this way. And people would get frustrated that we wouldn't take it more seriously. But I'm like, it's not something.
How are you not allowed to? By the way, I stopped using hustle during that time and just used hard work and work ethic.
Just
you want to cancel work ethic? Knock yourself. I don't give a shit what they want to cancel. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with life right now. Everyone has such audacity that they think everyone should see the world the way they see it.
Oh, please.
I have deep conviction of how I see things. I'm me. I'm Garyvee. I write these. But when I tell you, I totally understand why people don't see it the same way. I have conviction that organic social media is the single most important starting point to marketing. I equally spend my career 7 hours, 10 hours a day, because I split it between VFriends and Vayner, with people who think a TV commercial is the most important thing. I think I'm right. I think they're stuck in yesterday. But guess what? I'm not mad at them. I don't hate them. I don't think they're stupid. I think they'll be proven to be wrong. I don't think in 2024, spending $4 million on making a commercial for television on a non-streaming service on network TV or cable is a good idea. I think it's actually the stupidest idea. But I'm not mad at anyone if they see it differently.
What's a bad day look like for you?
One of the things I'm struggling with right now is that with 2,000 employees, and I'm so HR driven, the PET team, the people and talent team, always tell me when something bad has happened to an employee anywhere. This is a big part of me wanting to be the human CEO I am, to the point where I'm actually debating maybe not doing it anymore. Because now at 2,000, when it was 50 people, 80 people, and everybody was 22, we were cruising. Nobody's parents were dying. Everyone was 22. Nobody's parents were dying. Nobody lost a baby. Nobody had kids. Like, we were cruising. I was like, I'm the best. Meaning I'd have to hear about it once every few months, and I would lean in. Now at 2,000 people, many of which are 40, 50, 30, things happen. People's siblings die. People's parents die. People lose a baby. People get sick. People themselves get sick and hurt. We had an incredible teammate get murdered in Brazil, I think, Colombia. So the weight of a day-to-day negative thing of people I care about that work with me, heavy. So a bad day for me would be getting bad news about somebody in one of my companies that's happened to them, because I'm very emotional. And so I take things on. I'm able to compartmentalize. That's what I'm great at. I can deal with it. But I would tell you, my bad days are only left for cancer, death, terminal illness, car wreck, burnt house down, losing money, somebody saying I stink. Like, fuck that shit.
I want you to talk about that a bit, because you've said that for a very long time. And I think a lot of people starting out with that perspective, some people get, as we've become parents and been married and all this, I really lean into same theory. Like, if something happened to her or my kids, that's a real thing.
Look, you're in
losing a little money.
Even let's go to the full extreme. You guys are really in it right now. You're on the precipice of building your empire, right? What if it went to dead zero tomorrow? Devastating. You've worked really hard.
I'd figure it out.
Of course, that.
You have to have that. You have to have that. You can't be scared.
You know why? Because you have no choice.
Right.
I don't understand. People think they have optionality to step backs. Everyone's so scared of losing, they've lost. Everybody is so scared of losing that is listening to this right now that they've already lost because of the fear of losing.
What about the forever student?
Oh, right. They just read about it and never do about it? Yeah, they're the forever student. I don't know. I was that about health and wellness from 28 to 38. I was talking to myself for a decade about I have to get into better shape. I have to eat better. Fuck, I have all these goals and dreams. I'm not going to live to 100 if I keep eating foie gras and fucking never go to the gym. And then at 38 and a half, I finally got serious about it. And I've started taking my health more serious over the last 10 years of my life. That's how I feel about all of it. I understand the forever student. I was it with my health and wellness from 28 to 38. It's about fear. I used to say when I was 34 that I didn't have time to work out. 34-year-old Gary compared to 48-year-old Gary with time, that guy is a puss.
Why is he a puss? Talk to him.
It's not that I work that much more or less. My efficiency is like a fucking gangster. Do you know what my calendar looks like?
No, can we see it?
Yeah.
This is my dream. This is actually my dream, to see your calendar.
This calendar, watch this. My calendar is super early, and look at this, 15 minutes, 40 minutes, 30 minutes. There's no lunch. There's no.
You've always done it this way, yeah?
You guys know, 4:45 to 5, 5:15 to 5:30, 4:30 to 4. It is.
Wait, do you have something in there that says 4:45 to 4:46?
Yeah, it's very real to me. Shower in there. My efficiency. Me learning as an operator that every 1 hour, here's a big one for all the entrepreneurs out there. Every hour meeting you have is actually a 30-minute meeting. A minimum day for me is 10 hours of operating, no lunch. I barely go to the bathroom. It's 10 hours, right? Right? Every day. And by the way, that's the minimum. There's plenty of 8 a.m.s to 11 p.m. and all that. Listen, I love what I do, but I'm in or I'm out. On the weekends, I'm see ya. Vacations, see ya. Jets game, double see ya. Like, you could tell me the world's burning down. I'm like, this game's not over yet. You know, like I carve out that time. And I've definitely evolved in an ebbs and flows with your personal life of like, there's times where you could triple down on work. There's times like you find different variables in different chapters of your life. There's no, I also have no ideology to my work ethic. Like, I'm also comfortable changing my mind tomorrow and never working again. It's a fluid situation. Like, it is what it is. I focus on one thing: enjoyment, satisfaction, happiness, and currently this is working, but if it changes, it changes. Envying people of wealth or status or perceived happiness is not a new phenomenon, right? And so I would say that makes sense. I think for everyone who's listening right now who has envy or anxiety or things of that nature, that's a natural human trait. That's part of almost everybody's journey. And as someone who has the reverse, which is why I have such admiration for my parents and my circumstances, you know, I would tell you that the quicker you get into a place of just loving yourself regardless is how fast you're gonna start being okay with it. And here's what I mean by that. I think the biggest issue in the world right now is that we put people on a pedestal that we don't know. And I'm one of those people. I get my emails and my DMs, and I'm very grateful, I'm flattered. But what I wanna remind everybody, from me for damn sure, and anyone you could be thinking, I actually want everyone to, I don't know if I want you to close your eyes, but I'd like for everyone to really think about this. I mean, like in the room. I want you to think about who you admire that you don't know, right? Like, real talk, Rihanna, LeBron, I don't know, right? Okay, like let's do a dramatic pause for a second. Think about the person. Good. Do you know how many things they suck at? Do you realize that they have right this second a child, a brother, a sister, a parent that could sit with you for an hour and shit on that person so heavy for what they're not good at, what they don't do, this is human life. I think for the people that you're talking about, which is almost everyone who's listening, why are you putting someone else on a pedestal and shitting on yourself? Now, I know why. Back to the vulnerability and transparency you're leading on. The circumstances of one's life led to a place where that was part of the framework. I knew my dad's mom very well, my grandma Esther. May she rest in peace. I love her with all my heart. But this was an extremely negative woman. Like, at a central casting from the Soviet Union, like everything you can think of. And so it's very obvious to me watching my father when I got to really know him in my late teens and then my entire 20s and 30s where we spent all our time together. I understand why my dad is different than me. I had a mother who built me up, and he had a mother who tore him down. And we both ended up successful because that's what happens. The extremes of both lead to success. Obviously, what I want for the world is for more people to get to success through happiness and joy than insecurity to prove to everyone, right? When you come from that place, you know this intimately based on what you've shared. You're so driven to succeed to consciously or subconsciously show everyone, stick it to everyone. It comes from, it's funny, I brought up Star Wars already. It's the flight of the dark side versus the Force. They're actually very close. You can be both Darth Vader and Yoda. They're actually both very powerful. Deep insecurity and deep confidence, not ego. Ego is insecurity with makeup on. Deep actual confidence and content and deep insecurity both end up at the top. There's just one big difference. The first one can stay there. When you get to the top from deep insecurity, shit gets really gnarly fast. The reason we've seen so many people grow and crumble is because money and fame and success do not change you. They deeply expose you. And so one of the reasons a lot of my content changed 7 to 10 years ago was, ironically, books like the one I just wrote. I would put out such black and white, exactly what to do opportunities. And I would watch the world that at least was on social media at the time. And I would wonder why people weren't doing it or why they would stop and start. And then I had my epiphany probably in my late 30s, which was, oh, I'm in a good place where I can handle the criticism, the micro losing, the sustained discomfort. and all these people can't. Oh, why is that? And that got me on the journey of like, oh fuck, like I got fortunate, like DNA and parenting and circumstance, perfect storm. This makes sense. But I think one of the things that people always find weird when they really get to know me is my great passion is my career. I love it. It's my game. I love working the way people love skiing or cooking or playing golf, or going on vacation. It is my favorite thing to do. I love it. But what I think stuns people as they get closer and closer to me is I don't get my validation from it. I don't give a fuck about it. I love it. It's my game, but it's not who I am. And I think I'm trying to figure out ways to put out information that might help people realize why that's good.
You talk a lot about your parents, you talk about your grandma. You don't talk a lot about your kids.
No.
You're a great dad, like I know in real life, but why is that?
I think too many parents are putting their kids on blast without their kids wanting it. I'm a very well-known person at this point in my life. I don't want to force my kids into notoriety if they don't want it. Period.
Some people think like, oh, I have to be so authentic and transparent and show all the things. Like you don't show all the things.
I don't show shit, right? I think that's unfair to children. Now, I jumped in real hard here. I do not judge others. I don't think I love talking about parenting in the macro. I hate talking about it in the micro. I am not saying that every parent that's doing that is wrong. They might be 100% right. I don't know their children. I know for me that it's very important that I don't do it for them. And so I think it's not understood yet because we've never lived through an era where everyone has the potential to be known. And I think that there's a lot of children that will end up resenting their parents for putting them on blast like that. And there's other children that will learn so much from it, it will be awesome. I just don't know the outcome of mine, and I'm not willing to take that risk. I'm too focused on not having to worry about the short term. I think the biggest reason I will never be a public CEO is I have no interest in appeasing people that think it's interesting to judge businesses in every 90-day window.
It's also a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's also stupid. Like when you're running a marathon, let me rephrase, that's not fair. It's stupid for someone like me who wants to do the game in perpetuity. If I'm playing in perpetuity, why would I succumb myself to something that is a short-term game? If you're a marathon runner, you don't do the 100-yard dash. So I think private is so fun. I get to have bad years. Last year wasn't a good year for Vayner. Meaning it was a great year, but like I should have made a lot more profit. But I just decided to go in for the jugular. And I'm investing like crazy, and I invested like crazy. And so we made a lot less profit last year than let's say the street would have wanted me to. And I have no interest, Nicole, to sit in front of fucking people and be like, all right, everybody, let me tell you why my stock is gonna go down this year. Because I'm building this forever, and I'm gonna hire more people and advance my best people. Like, do you know how crazy that is? Like watching public CEOs pander to hedge funds or analysts who are fucking Excel jockeys on what they're gonna do for the next 90 days or this year. Like business is so simple. You're either extracting out profit or you're investing back into your business. Like I don't know how
I feel like you and I like are old school. Like this is what happens when your parents are immigrants.
Probably.
Right? It's like I just believe at the end of the day, you run a profitable business, like period, the end. You make money.
Or if you're really building a great business, like when everyone was razzing, like I'd only bought a couple public stocks in my life. And one was Amazon 100 years ago. Because it was just very clear to me like Jeff Bezos was going for the jugular. He gave a fuck about customers and he was reinvesting in his business. And they were shitting on him. Like I would have CNBC in the background and people like, you're not profitable, tell us why. And like, what? Like, what, how? You don't need a lot of brain power to understand they were going for the jugular. It's one thing to waste money. It's another thing that you're losing market share because someone's outflanking you. But there's just such clear indication that some people are going for the long term. And I think I would struggle as a public CEO. I don't think I'd be good.
I agree.
I'd be fired real fast. If I would be smart and probably not give the board any opportunity to fire me, but I wouldn't enjoy it. Because I might not give a fuck if my stock went from 52 to $3.09, but Dustin would, and that would be pressure on me. It would be hard for me to feel bad, because people would be like, yeah, because people, like, so I just don't think I'd do well at it.
How you deal with criticism and the inevitable ups and downs of success. You're someone that has got both.
By being empathetic to it being a reality of life. It's inconceivable that you want attention and you're not going to have judgment. In a world that is obsessed with taking things out of context and only headline reading. There's no common sense to that. I don't take it personal. I care about the judgment of the most inner circles that I have. Family and friends, employees, inner circles, acquaintances that became friends. Like, I can't be upset if Johnny 97 thinks I'm a dick face because my energy's too much. I'm also empathetic. I know that my alpha competitive, high energy Jersey, like, I know what this is. That's not for everybody. Some people want to zen out. If you want to zen the fuck out, I'm not your guy. And so I'm just too empathetic. I also think it's humility. At the end of the day, I'm like, who the fuck am I? Who gives a fuck? If I die tomorrow, what's gonna happen? I'll get 24 hours of love on social, right? People will be like, oh man, what the fuck? Like, And
then a year later, do you remember Garyvee?
100%, and luckily we live in an era where we're more like, all of us are more like the most famous people in the world. Like, we'll live forever. Like, a clip from this, like, do you know how cool it is that do you know how fun it will be? This is insane. Your and my great-great-great-grandchildren will somehow realize, because last names, things will change, but somehow if they became great friends, would somehow family tree it and be like, holy fuck. And they're gonna, hey Jeremiah 794, like, they will literally watch this. Do you know how cool that is? But at the end of the day, how do I handle it? Humility and empathy.
Talk to me about just that immediate emotional reaction. I think that overcoming that is something that a lot of people struggle with.
Well, I think that's right. Look, I think
it's nice in the stark contrast with the nice perspective.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree. Price it in as the cost of doing business. Cost of doing business, you put things on the internet, people are going to say mean stuff to you.
Yeah.
And fighting against that is like King Canute trying to stop the tide. But that...
Do you know fighting?
Yes.
Okay. You know some people like getting punched in the face?
Yes, I'm friends with Tim Kennedy, yes.
I like getting punched in the face. That's my answer. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
It's my nature. I was shit on my whole life. I was a Russian immigrant. I came over here. Russia was the bad guys when I came here. So I got shit on in grade school. I didn't speak English. This is a story I tell very rarely. Very rarely. I think I've done it once or twice. I'm going there. I often talk about I lived in people that really know me. My story is I went from Queens to Edison, New Jersey. Edison, New Jersey, where I became a Jets fan and an entrepreneur. But it's not fully true. Queens to Dover for a year, then Edison. Dover doesn't make my story. I never understood why, but I'm starting to tap into it. It was fucking bad. Because I didn't speak English and because I went outside a lot, I got picked on a lot. And it was a rough neighborhood. I remember one story, that's the main story I remember of that era, where I saw the kid pee in the Pepsi cup, like by the tree, and they came over and the 7 of them bullied me to drink it. I was 5, I was fucking 5. And I kind of like tried, like if it's very blurry, I mean it's 43 years ago, but like, I didn't speak English. Obviously, when you're an animal, like a human, at 5, you know what's happening. But like, then I was a terrible student. I was D's and F's. And this was the 80s, there was no political correctness. My teachers literally would look me in the face. These are grown-ups, they're your teachers, you look up to them. They're like, you are a loser. You're dumb. You're gonna fail. You're gonna be a garbage man. Then I also love sports. I played sports all the time. Do you know what happens when you play sports? You lose a lot. You win sometimes, but you lose a lot. Video games, this. And then I sold stuff. I did lemonade stands. I would sit on Tingley Lane in Edison, New Jersey as a 9-year-old, and I would watch millions, let me just take a step back. I would see hundreds of cars drop by and not stop for my sign, and occasionally get one. I live life under the mindset of, it's all shit, but it doesn't matter. The shit doesn't matter. It's the fucking sunshine, the occasional sunshines that is everything. And I think people live the reverse. A little ounce of poopy makes them cry because they're fucking soft, because they're not fucking hard enough, because they're not loving themselves. I love myself too much to give a fuck about you. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't want to be delusional. I don't want to be fucking living in my own ecos. I respect other opinions. I internalize for processing other opinions, but I have no interest in putting your fucking subjective opinion about me above my opinion above me. That's how I deal with it. I'm very weird when it comes, let me explain what I mean by this. I don't consume, like, let me give you an example. I don't know if I'm betting on her. Nick Dio hit me up with someone yesterday, and I spent I loved it. It's not that I'm betting on her. Let me see if I can fucking find this. She's like an intern, like this. She's got 37 followers on Instagram, or 137. And Dio said, I bet she has 50,000 in a month. And I'm like, you're right. And let me tell you where I'm going with this. I don't go deep on people or influencers or content creators. I go very wide. I'm looking for macro trends and things that I think I can contribute to the conversation in podcasts like this. So for me, I don't actually consume anything. I consume everything. I'm trying to really, the reason I said I'm weird and I'm trying to figure out how I can break this down. 7 years ago, I answered Mr. Beast. Yet, I've never watched a Mr. Beast video in my life. Charli D'Amelio was in my office for her first business meeting. I might have watched one full 8-second dance video of hers to know. I'm going so broad, right? 310 Baby as a rapper of do I think, I'll listen to a song first minute. There's something in the way that because I'm trying to consume everything, it's almost like I don't have the time to go deep enough. And so I'm not great. I'm disappointed, in a weird way, I'm disappointed in myself to not be able to answer your question, because I've seen 50 of them in the last 50 weeks. But I have some form of reading comprehension issues and dyslexia where words are hard for me. So I could tell someone that I saw them in an airport in Dubai and I could tell them we talked about peanuts 13 years ago. And I could have seen their social media 90 times and they could say, what's my name? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of, I guess.
I've
got it in my head that you're like a meteorologist, but for social media. You're trying to be the weather report. You're trying to take the
I'm just, that's, what's going. And I'll see things and I'll but it's very hard for me to say, especially because I like being historically correct. So I'm not gonna sit here and say, I think I can tell you the profile, because this might help a lot of people.
Yeah. What's the kind of person that will succeed over the next few years on social media?
The ones that can get the noise out. The biggest reason people won't win in social media is people don't have the stomach to handle the feedback. People won't have the stomach for the changing winds of day trading. They'll be on a pedestal on TikTok. All these TikTok fuckers, and I say fuckers like I'm one of them, the people that are winning on TikTok right now, their day will come. Their day will come where the attention shifts and they won't be ready. And will they be ready after having 4 years of being on to do it again? Do you have the intestinal fortitude to be in perfect, you're in such great shape. If you go through a period of your life for 3 years where you do all the wrong things, and you wake up 3 years later and say, fuck, I'm getting back to this dude. Do you have the fucking strength? Because once, the hardest thing is once you were there, when you lose it, to get back, right? If you were making $5 million a year, let's say you were making $40,000 a year, and then you blew up on social, and you had 2 years where you made $3 million a year, but then you're not popping on social anymore. Do you have the strength to go back and put the work in to get back to that place? Do you have the emotional capability to take one step backwards to then take 2 steps forward? Do you have the grit? Do you have the self-esteem? Do you have the ability to deal with the ebb and flow? Think about the people that get trolled. Are you gonna cry and disappear? Or are you gonna be Logan Paul and become a WWE superstar? Do you have the strength to deal with criticism at scale? Do you have the strength to deal with the toe bumps? The biggest reason people aren't entrepreneurs is entrepreneurship is losing constantly with the occasional win. It looks cool, but people don't love eating shit. The talk I'm giving to you right now, I gave a version of this 20 years ago to bookstores. I said, this Amazon thing is not a joke. But again, there's a lot of youngsters here. Who's over 45 in here? Raise your hands. You'll remember, people underestimated how big the internet was. They didn't know. I gave a keynote to the taxi and black car service industry in Washington, D.C. in 2011, 12, 13, 14, I don't remember. And they did not take Uber seriously. I know there's people sitting here right now and be like, Gary, you're probably right, but I'm good. I got my shit down. I got my sellers. I got my neighborhood. I'm good. That's what a lot of real estate people said about Zillow. My friends, listen to me. You have to take what I'm saying serious. This technology thing is not stopping. It's gonna get bigger. And where there's money, there's interest. And when there's money that's fragmented amongst a bunch of you in small pockets, there's opportunity for consolidation. You are dramatically more vulnerable than you think if you don't start getting serious on building brand. And the place to build brand is social media, and we're very fortunate for that, because unlike the 70s and 80s and 90s and early 2000s, it's free. The reason that so many of these creator brands are causing troubles for big companies like Prime Energy Drink and Poppy and Feastables chocolate is because the reason these companies had big advantages was it was too much money to do television ads and get into Walmart. Now you just can sell on TikTok Shop or Shopify or do TikTok ads and get 40 million views and sell it on your Amazon place. My friends, everything's getting commoditized in the world through technology except the ability to build brand. Your brand, your reputation, your name, your company's name is all you've got. So I beg you to become a practitioner. Do you know how many people say to me, Gary, especially when they honestly, that book I just showed you, I just read it a couple weeks ago in LA in studio because I wanted to do the audiobook, Real Talk. I was bored. It's so detailed. And so the people that are going through it right now, early people that are reading it, people that are reviewing it, what have you, they're like, man, this is hard. And I was like, no shit. The problem is everything good is hard. Everything good is hard. And people tell me, Gary, I don't have time to do this. I'm like, let me get this straight. You don't have time to get customers. When you tell me you don't have time for social media content, my brain converts it into, I don't have time to grow my business. Too many people are spending their time on dumb shit that doesn't matter. Like an hour and a half lunch, talking about some dumb nonsense that leads to nothing. There are people in this room right now, and there's many people that have stood up. I'm gonna predict 8 of you are gonna listen to me. I mean this. I believe 8 of the people that stood up will take what I said very seriously, and tonight, in their hotel room, or driving home, or at a restaurant, will make their first really thoughtful piece of social media content and post it on TikTok and Instagram. And of those 8 people, one of them with no followers, I mean, don't even have an account, or post it 3 times a year, one of those 8 people will get something decent happen. Make sure before you do that to get your profile right and have your email and your business linked up there so people can find you. But it is insane to me that I am gonna post something tonight. I have 15 million followers on TikTok. I've been doing this every fucking day for 20 years, and it is insane to me that one of the people that just stood up is gonna post something tonight in video form and get more people to see it than me. If you do not understand what I just talked about for the last 2-3 minutes and why that is an outrageous opportunity, then I don't know what to fucking tell you. For the first time in the history of marketing and selling, you can reach tons of people for free. Social media, watching people complain about social media in business makes me laugh. They're complaining that they're not getting enough people to see their stuff. They're shadow banned. There's too much competition. It's fucking free. It's free. Fuck the algorithm, it's free. Direct mail, billboards, radio, television. How many people here in their career have spent money on a billboard? Raise your hands. Money. How many people have done newspaper ads? Raise your hands. Money. Direct mail. Money. The post office isn't like, hey Stan, I fucking like you, go. They want your money. Commercials, TV local commercials, raise your hand. Money. Google AdWords, raise your hands. Money. This is free. And unlike the last 15 years, where though it was free, it was fucking hard to really grind day in and day out to build a huge following to then cash in on, it is now not even that. If you make one good video, one, you can reach an obnoxious amount of people and something good can happen. I appreciate that. Do you know how insane that is? We are complaining about the single greatest opportunity in the history of marketing. Because other people are doing it too. I really want to leave right now. Like for impact, you know, so that everyone's like, you know, like just to like really get in your fucking dome. But I'll stay, because I'm obligated. I'm literally gonna talk about in detail what I just said. I'm gonna say it again. If you do not understand that you should go home after this, you should probably leave right now and start making pictures and videos in written word. In this business, where you know what territory you're gonna go and Saturday knock on, I can literally be in fucking New Jersey, run ads in Utah, and actually sell against you without physically being here and forget about me. I'm just saying if nobody knew who I was, and probably outflank you by spending $200 a day on that neighborhood. My friends, marketing always wins. How many people under 35 in here? Raise your hands. Let me give you, I love it. Let's clap it up for the youngsters. Youngsters, let me give you the preview of what's gonna happen to you. Social media is not gonna be forever. In about 10 to 12 years, you're gonna see videos on me say to you, the fuck are you still doing social media for, you idiot? VR is gonna come. Shit's gonna change. And let me give you a preview. We may never, I mean this, we may never have another era where the distribution of awareness and brand building was free. And so I'm gonna give a preview to all the 35-year-olds so you can watch this one day, probably in VR. And you'll be right back in this room. Instead of being 27 though, you'll be 49. And you're gonna be like, why the fuck didn't I listen to him? Because I'm telling you right now, the 35 and under crowd here is gonna regret not going hard at this next 5 years doing this if they don't do it, because it may never come around again. My friends, we are living in the greatest era of business opportunity. The problem is, we're living in the greatest era of business opportunity. What that means is you're competing with everybody else. You wanna think you're good? Show me. Show yourself. But the opportunity is extraordinary, and I implore all of you to get very serious about something that most people take for granted. Organic social media strategy, creative, do it every day, do it as many platforms as possible, and get good at as many platforms as possible, because it will impact your business, and it will protect you from the people that are doing it.